Alright children, I've got a new haircut just for this video. Nah, joking. This is the Marauder set build for the Demon Hunter class in Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. And this is specifically for patch 2.5 and season 10. Works absolutely amazing with the revamped Hellcat waistguard. If you haven't seen my video just before this one, check that out. I talk about the Hellcat waistguard and how it works together with your grenade damage and shit like that. So check that out first if you're not sure how the Hellcat waistguard works. But if you follow this video to a T, you'll be right anyway. You'll be doing shitloads of damage in no time. We're going to start off with skills in a moment. Now, the Marauders set, I'm doing this because it's the first set that you'll obtain if you do Season 10. You get the Marauders in Hodrick's Gifts, and you'll definitely get this set before any other full set, I guarantee ya. So work with what you have, and then you can start farming, Torment 13 once you have Marauders and work towards your Shadow's Mantle, which I would recommend as your Greater Rift set, because that is absolutely amazing. I'll talk about the Shadow's Mantle set real soon. I'm going to do a build video, I promise. Hang in there. It's coming in the next day or two. Let's talk about the skills for Marauders though today. We're using Evasive Fire with Focus for our primary skill, Cluster Arrow with Cluster Bombs, Vault with Tumble, Sentry with Polar Station, Vengeance with Seethe, and Wolf Companion for Companion. Now you probably can notice that with Marauders we've got all of our pets active. What the Wolf Companion does, I've chosen that because when we activate it, it gives us increased damage for like 6 seconds or whatever it was. Definitely handy when you come across elite packs and if you push Greater Rift levels, 100%. Passives, we're using Call of the Week, Steady Aim, Grenader, and Custom Engineering. Now the reason we're designed for grenade damage is you'll see in a moment because of that Hellcat waistguard belt. Gear wise, we're using the 6 set Marauders. We're using the helm, the chest piece, the shoulders, the gloves, the pants and the boots. With the helm, you want to go with Diamond Gem, and you want to definitely try and get the cluster arrow damage increased by up to 15%. I got 14 there. Try and enchant your gear to get 15%. For the amulet, you'd probably want to use a Hellfire amulet, but because I've got such high crit damage on my Traveler's Pledge here, I've just left it in there for now. But if you get a good passive on a Hellfire amulet, I'd probably use that for sure, because down here we're using Focus and Restraint. Now with Focus and Restraint, basically when you hit with a resource generating attack, you do 50% extra damage. When you hit with a resource spending attack, you do 50% increased damage. So we're doing 100% increased damage the whole time because we're going to be using Evasive Fire and we're going to be shooting those cluster bombs like crazy. The braces, we've got the Wraps of Clarity. Again, whenever we use Evasive Fire, we actually get 34% reduced damage, which is absolutely awesome and definitely huge for the Demon Hunter class. We take a lot of damage. Talking about damage reduction, Zoe's Secret is an absolute must-have. We've got 6 pets that are actually active, and what you get is 8.9% less damage for every companion or pet that we have active. We've got 8.9 times 6, lots of damage reduction, absolute must have. Now, Manticore we're using because it reduces the hatred cost of Cluster Arrow by 49%. Absolutely huge. It'll let us keep spamming Cluster Arrow. In conjunction with Vengeance, this shit, we ain't never going to run out of hatred. Ain't never going to run out of hatred. And every 5 seconds we're going to be evasive firing anyway. We've got Focus on that and we generate more hatred that way too. The Bombardier's Rucksack lets us have 2 additional sentries. Sentries are huge because of the buffs that you get damage wise. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go through the Marauders 6 set bonuses here. For 2 set items, Companion gets all companions, as you can see, all 6 are active. For 4, sentries deal 400% increased damage and cast the Cluster Arrow, which we're going to be casting this shit here, boys. When our sentries are active, you can't do it here because you need enemies around, they shoot those fucking cluster arrows as well, and there's going to be grenades everywhere doing shitloads of damage. And as you can see in my previous video that I explained, the grenades actually bounce and do more damage as they keep bouncing, and then boom, 800% damage on the last bounce, boys. Now for the amulet and rings gem pieces, we're using Zay's Stone of Vengeance. Must have a socket in your amulet and your 2 rings, guys. No matter what you do, make sure the socket is there. It doesn't matter what you have to sacrifice, socket, and then try and work on getting a better item in the future. But Zay's Stone of Vengeance, Bane of the Trapped, no brainer, and I like using Bane of the Powerful this season and this patch for this particular build. Gives us a nice buff when we kill an elite pack, and it also, we gain 15% damage against elite packs and 15% reduced damage, so as much reduced damage as we can get for this build. Ultra important, boys. And that pretty much covers off all of our gear. Pretty self-explanatory. Obviously you want dexterity, vitality, critical hit damage and critical hit chance wherever possible. And we'll go into Canai's Cube. Now this is ultra important. You must have all of these items no matter what. Dawn. Dawn in your weapon slot reduces the cooldown of Vengeance by 65%. We want Vengeance active almost 100% of the time. When mine runs out, I usually have a couple seconds spare. As you can see, it's ticking away. Vengeance is still active. Once Vengeance is no longer active, I have a couple seconds spare, but that doesn't affect me. Like I can deal without it being up 100% of the time. It's literally like, look, 1, 2, 3, boom. So it's like 3 seconds. All I can do is just evasive fire and I can still keep spamming cluster arrow. I can deal with that. If you can't deal with that, just get some more cooldown reduction into your gear, boys. Alright, choose an item, sacrifice a stat, get more cooldown reduction. Probably the most important item for this build is the Hellcat Waistguard. Must have this either equipped or in the Canai's Cube. You want Zoe's Secret as well. They're both absolutely necessary, so if you have one equipped, have the other one in the Canai's Cube. Grenades have a chance to bounce 5 times, dealing additional 50% damage on each bounce. This bonus is increased by 800% on the last bounce. So what I was showing you guys before, this shit here, the bouncing. That's where the damage increases and multiplies, boys. And when you have these bad boys up, when enemies are around, like I mentioned, they also shoot these cluster arrows, so you can just spam the shit out of them. When enemies aren't around, the sentries aren't active though, as you can see. They're not operating, not functioning. And lastly, we want Convention of Elements there for 200% increased damage once we do get that fire damage buff for our cluster arrows and our grenades. Alright, that's pretty much it, boys, for everything gear related. We'll go to Paragon Points. Core, we want to make sure that we're capped at 25% total movement speed. Smash everything else into dexterity. Offense, cooldown reduction first. Ultra important for this build. Then we go crit chance, crit damage, and attack speed last. For defense, we want resist all, armor, life regen in that order. For utility, we want resource cost reduction, life per hit, area damage, and then gold find last. I guess now all that's left is a live example of how this shit works. I've covered everything, your skills, your gear, your Canai's Cube, your Paragon Points. If I forgot anything or you're curious about anything, hit me up in the comments. More than happy to reply. Let's check out how this baby works. Here we go, boys. Festering Woods. For some reason I'm drawn here. I always come here to do my gameplay examples. I don't know why. I just think it's a cool map. I like the location. So as you can see there, the sentries keep shooting cluster arrows as well. Hellcat Waistguard gives them a chance to bounce, do that damage multiplying shit. It's just overpowered. Look at the cluster arrows. Absolutely insane, boys. I won't hit that shrine. Just to prove that, you know, we're doing damage without fucking shrine health. Nerds there going, oh, hit a shrine.
No, I will not do that.
Definitely save your sentries for these elites, boys. So what I mean by that is don't hit 3 sentries straight away when you're just killing like your normal, you know, white monsters. They do fuck all damage. Like we kill them pretty easy. Alright, boys, let's clear this area. There's usually an elite in here. There they are. There he is. Let's kill the elite, boys. Too easy. Too damn easy. So as you can see, there's shit going. There's grenades everywhere. Look at it all. The sentries just spit out the cluster arrows, and look at the bouncing that just multiplies so much damage, boys. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it until we get Shadow's Mantle. Then I'll tell you how to use Shadow's Mantle. Thanks for tuning in for my build video there. Tell me in my comments section what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. And Shadow's Mantle build is coming real soon. Stay tuned for that one.